Every morning, millions of seniors wake up and make the exact same mistake, one so small it feels harmless. But here's the shocking truth. Harvard researchers have found this daily ritual may actually weaken your heart muscle over time, setting you up for fatigue, dizziness, and even dangerous cardiovascular decline. It's not the food you eat at breakfast, it's what you do right before it. And fixing it can be the difference between a heart that struggles and one that stays strong well into your 80s and 90s. I'm Dr. Howard Tucker, and for decades I've worked as a longevity doctor helping older adults add years of vitality to their lives. And today, I want to show you why this overlooked morning habit might be quietly draining your heart's strength, and how a simple shift can actually fortify your cardiovascular system, improve circulation, and even boost energy levels you thought were gone forever. So stay with me, because once you understand how your morning routine interacts with your heart's natural rhythm, you'll never start your day the same way again. The mistake I'm talking about happens before breakfast even begins. For many seniors, it starts the moment they swing their legs out of bed, stand too quickly, and rush into the day without giving their heart and circulation time to wake up. That might seem harmless, but here's the truth. As we age, our blood pressure regulation system, the baroreflex, slows down. When you rise too fast, blood drains into your legs, leaving the brain and heart briefly starved of oxygen. Scientists call this orthostatic stress. You may feel it as dizziness or heaviness, but inside, the heart is being forced to work harder than it should. And mornings are already risky. The American Heart Association notes that heart attacks and strokes peak in the early hours, often triggered by sudden surges in blood pressure and cortisol. For seniors with stiffer vessels and weaker heart muscle, standing abruptly becomes the perfect storm. Think of your heart like a car engine on a cold morning. Instead of warming up, you're flooring the gas. Once or twice may not matter, but years of repetition add up. Harvard researchers have even found that older adults who often feel dizzy when standing are nearly twice as likely to suffer cardiac events within 5 years. Those few seconds of lightheadedness are not trivial. They're warning signs. And it's not just about jumping up too quickly. Another common mistake is heading straight for coffee before water. After 6 to 8 hours of sleep, most seniors wake up mildly dehydrated. Caffeine on an empty system acts like a diuretic, further lowering blood volume. The result? Your heart must beat faster and harder just to keep blood moving. The Cleveland Clinic has shown that dehydration alone can raise heart rate by 10 to 15 beats per minute. Add caffeine, and you've doubled the strain. So when I say this morning mistake weakens the heart, I'm talking about a cluster of small choices: rising abruptly, skipping hydration, shocking the heart with sudden demands. Over time, those choices wear down the cardiovascular system when it's most vulnerable. The hopeful news? Just a few minutes of slower transitions and early hydration can flip the script. Seniors who sit on the edge of the bed, sip water first, and move gently before standing show stronger, steadier circulation. Their hearts work with them, not against them. In the next section, I'll explain how timing and hormones like cortisol and melatonin interact with these routines, and how understanding this rhythm can supercharge both heart health and longevity. Your body is not just waking up in the morning. It's undergoing one of the most dramatic hormonal shifts of the entire day. And how you treat your heart during this fragile window can determine whether you feel energized or exhausted, strong or shaky. Here's the science. As the sun rises, cortisol, the so-called stress hormone, naturally spikes. This is a healthy design. Cortisol helps wake you up, mobilizes energy, and raises blood pressure slightly to get your organs online. But in seniors, this cortisol surge is often exaggerated. Instead of a gentle rise, it's more like a sudden jolt. And if you pair that surge with jumping out of bed or skipping hydration, you're essentially pouring gasoline on an already roaring fire. Blood pressure shoots higher, your heart beats harder, and the risk of strain increases. At the same time, melatonin, the hormone that signals rest, plummets. This drop is necessary, but here's where timing matters. Seniors who don't give their body a few minutes to adjust after waking are asking the heart to go from deep rest mode to full throttle instantly. Studies from Harvard and Stanford have shown that this transition period, known as the cortisol awakening response, is when the heart is most vulnerable to arrhythmias, fainting spells, and even cardiac events. So, what does this mean in practical terms? It means that those first 5 to 10 minutes after opening your eyes are not neutral. They're the most delicate cardiovascular window of the day. If you respect that window by sitting up slowly, sipping water, and letting circulation catch up, you allow cortisol and blood pressure to stabilize instead of spike. Think of it like synchronizing two clocks. One clock is your heart rhythm, the other is your hormonal rhythm. If you let them align naturally, you feel steady, alert, and clear-headed. If you force them out of sync, standing quickly, stressing your heart before hydration, you create hormonal jet lag inside your own body. And here's the uplifting truth. Seniors who adjust their morning timing report more than just fewer dizzy spells. They experience clearer thinking, steadier energy, and even improved sleep at night. Why? Because stabilizing the morning hormone-heart connection reduces the roller coaster that throws off the entire 24-hour cycle. In the next section, I'll reveal how this same approach protects senior brains, slowing memory decline and even reducing dementia risk by giving circulation and oxygen delivery the jumpstart they need each morning. Your heart and your brain are partners. What strengthens one strengthens the other, and what weakens one, like the morning mistakes we just covered, quickly shows up in the other. Here's the critical link. Your brain is the hungriest organ in your body. Even though it weighs only about 3 pounds, it uses nearly 20% of your oxygen supply at any given time. The moment blood flow becomes unstable in the morning, whether from standing too quickly, skipping hydration, or spiking cortisol, your brain feels the shortage first. That's why dizziness and brain fog often appear together. Neurologists now believe that repeated dips in blood flow, even if they last only seconds, can accelerate long-term memory decline. In fact, studies from the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease have shown that seniors who frequently report lightheadedness upon standing are more likely to show early markers of cognitive decline within just a few years. The reason is simple. When circulation is inconsistent, the brain doesn't get the steady oxygen and nutrient delivery it needs to repair itself after sleep. Think of your brain cells like workers in a factory. Overnight, they've been busy clearing out waste proteins and repairing synapses. Morning is when they need fresh supplies, oxygen, glucose, vitamins, to finish the job. But if blood flow drops, that repair process stalls. Over time, the debris builds up, including the very amyloid plaques associated with dementia. The encouraging part is that seniors who respect their morning heart rhythm also protect their mental sharpness. Simple steps, like drinking water before coffee, moving gently before standing, and giving cortisol time to stabilize, create a smooth blood flow highway straight to the brain. Researchers at the University of California found that older adults who practiced these circulatory priming habits had better memory recall and reaction times compared to those who rushed their mornings. And it doesn't just prevent decline. Many seniors notice an immediate effect: clearer thinking, better word recall, steadier mood. That's the brain thriving on oxygen and nutrients instead of struggling against sudden drops. So when we talk about keeping your memory sharp, it's not just crossword puzzles or brain games. It starts with how you treat your heart and circulation in the first 10 minutes of the day. In the next section, I'll show you how these same morning habits improve circulation and oxygen delivery throughout the body, strengthening not only your brain, but also your heart, muscles, and energy levels. Every beat of your heart is designed to deliver life, oxygen, nutrients, and energy carried through your bloodstream. But as we age, circulation doesn't flow as freely as it once did. Arteries stiffen, blood thickens, and oxygen delivery slows. That's why even simple tasks, walking upstairs, carrying groceries, can feel heavier with each passing year. Now here's the surprising part. What you do in the first minutes of your morning can set the tone for how efficiently your circulation works the rest of the day. Stand too quickly, skip water, or overload with caffeine, and your blood vessels constrict while your heart strains. The result? Less oxygen reaches your muscles, organs, and brain just when they need it most. But when you take a slower, smarter approach, the effect is almost immediate. Sitting on the edge of the bed, flexing your ankles, sipping water before coffee, these tiny choices prime circulation. Blood volume rises, vessels open, and oxygen flows more smoothly. It's like clearing debris from a garden hose before turning up the pressure. Why does oxygen matter so much? Because every cell in your body depends on it. Your heart muscle uses oxygen to power contractions. Your brain uses it to form memories. Even your immune system relies on oxygen delivery to fight off infections. When circulation is steady, all of these systems operate at a higher level. Studies from the Mayo Clinic have shown that seniors who improve morning hydration and circulation have measurably higher oxygen saturation throughout the day. That translates to more energy, sharper thinking, and less strain on the heart. In fact, consistent oxygen delivery has been linked to lower rates of both cardiovascular events and age-related cognitive decline. You can feel the difference too. Seniors who adopt this ritual often describe their mornings as lighter, steadier, even calmer. Instead of a racing heart or foggy mind, they report a gentle sense of readiness. That's oxygen working for you rather than against you. So when we talk about heart and brain longevity, the secret isn't just big medical breakthroughs, it's circulation. And that circulation is built or broken in the first few minutes of your morning. In the next section, I'll reveal the early signs you'll notice when this ritual starts working. Subtle changes that tell you your heart, brain, and circulation are getting stronger every single day. The beauty of this morning ritual is that you don't have to wait years to feel the payoff. In fact, most seniors begin noticing changes within days to weeks. These early signs are subtle at first, but they're powerful signals that your heart and circulation are finally working with you instead of against you. One of the first changes is steadiness. That lightheaded feeling you may have had when standing up starts to fade. Instead of needing to grab a chair or pause for balance, you feel grounded and stable. That's your baroreflex, the body's blood pressure regulator, getting stronger and more responsive. Next comes clarity. Seniors who hydrate before coffee and ease into the day often report sharper focus within the first week. The morning brain fog lifts, word recall improves, and even mood steadies. This happens because the brain is receiving a more reliable stream of oxygen and nutrients. Neurologists call it cerebral perfusion. You'll simply call it clear-headedness. Energy is another early signal. When circulation improves, your muscles receive more oxygen. That translates into fewer heavy legs, easier walks, and even better stamina for daily chores. Many seniors describe it as feeling lighter on my feet, as though tasks that once left them winded are suddenly manageable again. Even sleep at night can improve. It may seem strange, but stabilizing circulation and cortisol in the morning reduces the stress spikes that can interfere with deep rest later. Seniors often notice they fall asleep more easily, wake less often, and rise feeling more refreshed. There are external signs too. Some seniors report warmer hands and feet, a direct result of improved blood flow reaching the extremities. Others notice less mid-morning fatigue or fewer palpitations after that first cup of coffee, because the heart no longer has to fight against dehydration and sudden strain. These are your body's quiet victories, proof that small changes add up. And while they may feel subtle, they are the earliest markers of real protection. A heart pumping more efficiently, a brain thriving on oxygen, and a body reclaiming strength with each passing day. In the next section, I'll show you how to weave this ritual seamlessly into your daily routine, so it becomes second nature and continues strengthening your heart for years to come. The real key to protecting your heart isn't a pill or a complicated program, it's consistency. The first 10 minutes of your morning hold more power than most people realize, and by turning this ritual into a habit, you set your heart, brain, and circulation on the right track every single day. It starts before you even leave the bed. Instead of springing up, pause. Sit for a moment at the edge of the mattress. Wiggle your toes, rotate your ankles, and take 2 or 3 deep breaths. This gentle transition signals your blood vessels to open and primes your circulation. Think of it as stretching your circulation the way you'd stretch a stiff muscle. Next comes hydration. Keep a small glass of water on your nightstand or in the kitchen and drink it before your first sip of coffee or tea. After a night of sleep, your blood volume is slightly lower, and that water is like giving your heart fuel for the morning. Within minutes, your circulation steadies, and your pulse begins to calm. From there, add light movement. It doesn't need to be exercise. Just a few simple actions like walking slowly around the room, stretching your arms overhead, or doing gentle chair squats. These movements pump blood back toward the heart and ensure oxygen reaches every corner of your body before you take on the day. Then, and only then, enjoy your morning coffee or breakfast. By waiting until your body is hydrated and your heart rhythm is stable, you can enjoy caffeine's alertness benefits without forcing your heart into overdrive. Pairing coffee with a small protein-rich snack like Greek yogurt or a boiled egg helps smooth blood sugar and adds another layer of cardiovascular support. The best part? Once you've repeated this sequence a few times, it becomes second nature. Seniors who make it a daily ritual say it feels less like a chore and more like a gentle rhythm that sets the tone for the entire day. The payoff isn't just fewer dizzy spells, it's a stronger heart, sharper brain, and steadier energy, all built from the way you start your morning. In the next section, I'll show you the long-term payoff of living this ritual every single day, and why it may add not just years to your life, but life to your years. When you think about heart health, it's easy to imagine the big milestones: lowering cholesterol, preventing a heart attack, avoiding dementia. But the truth is, those outcomes are built from the tiniest choices made over and over again, and this morning ritual is one of the simplest yet most powerful. The payoff starts with resilience. Seniors who build this habit protect their hearts from the daily spikes in pressure and strain that wear vessels down. Over months, arteries stay more flexible, circulation steadies, and the heart itself pumps more efficiently. Instead of fighting to keep up, it begins to work in rhythm with your body. The brain reaps the benefits too. Long-term studies have shown that consistent oxygen delivery slows the accumulation of plaques linked to Alzheimer's and dementia. Seniors who maintain steady morning circulation not only think more clearly in the short term, they preserve more of their memory, language, and problem-solving abilities well into later years. Energy is another lasting reward. By preventing morning dehydration and cortisol surges, you flatten the roller coaster of fatigue that many older adults accept as normal aging. The result is steadier stamina for daily activities, stronger muscles thanks to better oxygenation, and even a greater sense of independence. But here's something even more important. Seniors who live this ritual daily reduce their risk of falls. Balance improves because the brain and inner ear receive consistent blood flow. That means fewer dangerous stumbles, fewer fractures, and a longer life lived on your own terms. Over time, these changes compound. What begins as a glass of water before coffee and a slower rise from bed becomes the foundation for a stronger heart, a clearer brain, and a body that feels years younger than the calendar says. Researchers call it cumulative cardiovascular protection. You'll simply call it living longer and living better. And the best part? You don't need fancy equipment, medications, or hours of effort. Just a mindful few minutes at the start of each morning. The heart, after all, doesn't ask for much. It just asks for consistency. In the final section, I'll show you why this ritual isn't just about today's heart health, but about building a future where every morning feels like a fresh start, and where your strongest years may still be ahead. What if the strength of your heart tomorrow depended on the first 5 minutes of your morning today? Because here's the truth. Every time you stand with steadiness, every sip of water before coffee, every gentle stretch before the rush, you're sending your heart and brain a message that says, I'm giving you room to thrive. And the ripple effect is bigger than most people realize. Stronger morning circulation doesn't just protect your heart, it fuels your brain, your muscles, your energy, even your confidence to live the day on your terms. You may not feel every heartbeat, but your body certainly does. And it remembers. Each morning's choice stacks on top of the last until years later, you realize you've built something extraordinary, resilience that most people never expect to regain after 60. But here's where it gets even more intriguing. New research is now uncovering that the same morning adjustments that protect the heart and brain may also influence how your cells age at the deepest level, affecting the very markers of longevity in your blood. Could a small ritual really turn back part of the biological clock? That's the question I'll be exploring next. Because while most people are told aging is inevitable, the science suggests your daily rhythms, your circulation, your oxygen flow, your morning habits are far more powerful than you've been led to believe. So tomorrow morning, before you stand, before you sip, before you rush, Pause. Notice what your body feels like when you give it that chance to catch up. And then remember, if a few mindful minutes can do this much for your heart today, just imagine what they might unlock for your entire body in the years ahead.